Now, in the previous session, we had learned what a direct speech is, and indirect speech is, what a reporting verb is, and what a reported speech is, right? A reported speech is a part of an indirect speech, right? So, sometimes reported speech is also referred to as indirect speech. Now, we are going to learn a few fundamental rules or tips to keep in mind when you convert a direct speech sentence or direct sentence to an indirect sentence or into reported speech. Fundamentals for a indirect or reported speech. Let me put the fundamentals into short points so that it becomes easy for you to revise for your examinations. The first thing to be kept in mind is quotation marks. If you remember, the very first example that I had given in the beginning of this session, I had said that when you convert a direct speech into an indirect speech, the first thing you do is remove the quotation marks. So this has to be kept in mind. The next fundamental rule is using of the word that. The word that is used as a conjunction between the reported verb and the reported speech. Coming back to the same old example, he said that he worked in the factory, right? So which is the reporting verb here? Good. Your said is your reporting verb. And which is the reported part or the reported speech of the indirect sentence? Yes. He worked in that factory. So that is always used as a conjunction between a reported verb and the reported speech. The next fundamental rule to be kept in mind is the change of pronoun or the pronoun change. What happens here? The subject of the reported speech is changed according to the pronoun of the reported verb. Let me give an example for your better understanding. He said, I am happy. Right, so this is the direct form. When I am going to convert, what are the things to be kept in mind with respect to the first two rules? Number one, remove your quotation marks. Number two, do not forget to add that, right? Number three is the change in the pronoun. The sentence goes like this when it is converted. He said that he was happy. Right? So what happens? The I had become he here. So the change of the pronoun according to the reported subject, right, has to be noted. The next fundamental rule is to keep in mind the change of the time. Let me give an example. He said, I am happy today. Now, you are going to narrate this to someone else. You are going to report this to someone else. So what's going to happen here is, remove the quotations, add that, change the pronoun, and concentrate on the time. What's the time here? Today. So how is this today going to transform itself? He said that he was happy that day. So your today becomes that day when it is converted into an indirect speech or reported speech. The next fundamental rule is to keep in mind the change in the tense. An example, he said, I am happy. I am going to convert this sentence into an indirect speech now. He said, what should I write? I'm supposed to add the conjunction that here. He said that he was happy. What is to be noted here is how I am happy is present tense, and when converted into an indirect speech becomes a past tense, right? Let's go through the fundamental rules of converting a direct speech into an indirect speech or reported speech once again. First thing, do not forget to remove the quotation marks. Any sentence or any direct sentence to be converted into an indirect sentence or into a reported speech, the first thing to be kept in mind is the removal of the quotation marks. Point number 2 is addition of the conjunction that. And where are we going to add this conjunction is in between the reported verb and the reported speech of the indirect sentence. Let me explain that the whole thing together is called an indirect speech. This particular verb used here is called reported verb or reporting verb, and the second half or the last part of the sentence is called the reported speech. So keep in mind that your conjunction that is used in between the reporting verb and the reported speech. Going to the third point, the change in the pronoun. Always when you change your sentence from direct speech to indirect speech, the pronoun will definitely undergo a change. Where he said, I am happy, when you go and report to another person, it says, he said that he was happy. You don't say he said that I am happy, no. Because when you say I here, it becomes like you refer it to yourself. But who is the person who is actually happy here? The person who is happy here is this speaker. So you're supposed to go and tell the other person that that person was happy and not I was happy. So the sentence goes like this. He said that he was happy. The next fundamental rule to be kept in mind is the change of time. He said that I am happy today. When you convert it to an indirect speech, it says he said that he was happy that day. When you say yesterday, it becomes the day before. So there are few changes of time which you should learn, and I would be teaching you in the upcoming classes. Next is the tense change, which is very obvious, because when a person speaks a sentence, it definitely is in present tense. I am taking class. You are listening to me. Am I right? But when I am going to go and report this to another person, this morning I was taking class and that person was listening to me. So the action had already happened and it got over. So the tense will definitely change when you go and narrate an incident to another person, or when you go and report an incident to another person. So keep in mind about the change of the tense. Once again, removal of the quotation marks, addition of the conjunction that, change of the pronoun, change of time, and change of tense. These are the 5 fundamental rules to be kept in mind when you convert a direct speech into an indirect speech or reported speech.